We continue. Gift books and molten candy. Old sports magazines. Book collects the national repuses of Arda. Out about lake trout. Shelf of crime novels. Couple spook novels hide amongst all the detective books, thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do. Look through the display. Crime fiction is a disgrace, an asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous, everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year of coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not to mention all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of the books found on the shelf? Sure. Dick Mullen on the job. Get me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen. A Sordid Affair. Dick Mullen. Killing is Declared. Dick Mullen. Final Case of Dick Mullen. A Lie. Dick Mullen. Dick Mullen. Dick Mullen. Dick, are there any more? Yep, there's also The Dame Who Did It, Farewell My Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen, The Dark Tide Turns, Tragedy Calls, and of course Dick Mullen the Murderer. A case to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question who matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads Dick Mullen and a Mistaken Identity. What do we have here? Mistaken Identity. A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that he's framed for the murder of his best friend, and has a few days to prove his innocence. Why does this speak to me? Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? Probably right. I'm a complicated guy, full of contradictions. And this is the book for you. I don't have money. Leave. You need to figure out the money situation. That's coming up very quickly.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance.
The clerk extends a greeting.
Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
So you're the owner of the store?
I am. The proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice is high-pitched as if to give it more penetration. And if I want to buy a book? Goodness, you were already doing good browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? She feels dependent and waves her bony fingers directly at you. Don't you feel compelled? Go, get back there. The book awaits you. What type of books do you have? Everything on the shelves, so take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't they? She smiles and nods. Your daughter is the one standing outside the store, right? Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl? Yes, of course. Wonderful. And did you talk to her? A little. Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her? Oh. Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store. I'm not going to grade a human being, I don't do that. Or 10, she's certainly very polite and helpful. So polite, in fact, that maybe she needs a reward. My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. She's immensely satisfied with the answer. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong. And that's quite the trooper. She's a great value add. You're to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor. All this pressure has made her really anxious. She's been chewing her nails. She's quite the trooper. That one. All this pressure has made her really anxious. She's been chewing her nails. God, I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit. Her voice is firm. She'll get over it. Anxiety is a part of life. Part of hers too, clearly. I don't think she can do anything about it. She can if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. It doesn't give you breaks. Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You're placing an unnecessary burden on a child. Kim's on my side. Alright, let's fucking go. What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that, and I usually don't know anything. That is true, and obviously the will of the market, but maybe make an exception for your daughter. Yes, actually, it's super alright for kids to chew their hands off. Forget I said anything. What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that. And I usually don't know anything. Stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without change. All of a sudden, she exhales sharply, her shoulders slumped down. Oh no, she mutters. Hold on, I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. She is. There. She returns with a nod. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress. She stops, but her mouth keeps moving. Sounds like both the husband and mother treat her the way she treats Annette. You're like Annette to your husband and mother. Oh, she nudges her glasses nervously. Well, my mother was horrible. Of course, absolutely perverse energies around that person, but my husband... She shakes her head. My husband is completely different, of course. She told me she doesn't go to school anymore. She's been too busy helping me here, so she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. Placent nods. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off. Is this husband Annette's father? My husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here, she says gloomily. No matter, we'll soon both be off for the Grand Kiran. And your husband's also involved with this bookstore? He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner. Is she an only child? I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really, not in this economy. A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior. Why not? We're quite busy people, my husband and I, quite busy. Her voice wavers a bit. Children are a lot of work. You don't look like a father, so I don't expect you to understand. Sorry, I'm sure you understand. Alright. I had something else in mind. Farewell for now, book peddler.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now. I'm very busy with my homework. I have so much homework now.
You just can't win. Out of the rain and into the gutter. So what are you doing now? Math. She looks into her notebook with trepidation. It's really difficult, like really. They say you needed to get richer, but better than standing outside in the cold, I guess. Oh, suddenly she smiles and perks up. I found something while you were away. What? Dick Mullen's hat. I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping me out. Not me, the city, I mean. Like a detective does. He gives you a hat. Almost exactly like the one Dick Mullen wears on the covers. A detective hat? Yeah, just like the one Dick Mullen wears all the time. She grins. You look way more serious with that. Right. I have to get back to my homework now before she notices. Man, this is hard. She looks back at the infernal scribblings under her nose. Why does this feel familiar? Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before. Hang on. So, you know me. We've met before? Yes, I used to stand outside here all the time before Mother told me to focus on my homework. Been running around all week, without a shirt on, apologizing to everyone. I don't really understand what you've done wrong. Did I ever talk to you? Of course, you stopped by a few times. She looks at you intently. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you. I'm trying. You can see, you don't have party eyes anymore. The lieutenant slowly, ever so slowly, realizes something. Party eyes. Yes, of course, that makes sense. I'm not surprised the children have seen you running around with party eyes. And he thinks not at all. Party eyes? You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. She giggles at the thought. It looks odd on a man. The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That's what she meant. You're probably gurning too. Fuck yeah, you should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy. Does this mean I've been partaking in narcotics? Oh, baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing. So why didn't you tell me you knew me to begin with? I didn't know I had to do that. I don't really like this deduction game anymore. Thanks. I think I've learned something about myself today. I'm glad to help you, sir. She smiles a wide, helpful smile. Okay, see you around. At least she got inside. And I got a new hat. I'm gonna wear it. It's awful, but I don't care. Savoir-faire is being destroyed by something. Isn't good. But I absolutely positively must get that body. So let's level up endurance. See a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, what's behind the curtains? Nothing. Now, please go back to browsing books. She fiddles with her pendant. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from them, the more alluring they become. Examine the strange cage-like trinket. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron, assembled from bone, sticks, and straw. Inside a disturbing fish head with empty eye socket stares at you. From the looks of it, this is a traditional Simonese ward meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges. Who are the Simonese? Inhabitants of Elysium Fantôme, the Simonine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there's nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtain remains shut before you. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, that petrified voice from the shop owner cries out once more. Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customer. Her hand is closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I will be held responsible for the consequences. It is too dangerous. Perception. She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal players? Like normal people? But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold. You do? She grabs her pendant again, visibly shaken. My god, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away. I'm a cop? Appeal to authority? Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness. I don't mean to be so impolite. I can't allow that. You only make things worse and unleash the powers. Is this about the curse? No, it's just a storeroom for the employees. Now, please step away. I don't care. You can't stop me. And you need to accept that you're cursed. No. She raises her hand to try to stop you. Please just talk to me. Come here and talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme. There's something mysterious about these curtains. Tattered with age and covered in dust hang before you, taunting them. Move them. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little similes and wards. Shadow looming over it like an omen. You're unleashing forces beyond your understanding. Only one way to understand them, then. Ghostly silhouettes of hairdryers. Vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Simi's trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. If you just break it down. Maybe I should just break it down. Not before I strategize. That's right, take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground and a proper posture if you want to succeed. Check posture. Steady breathing, solid core. You got this. With one shoulder forward, you're ready to smash into the door like a battering ram. Surroundings? The room is dimly lit and littered with old barbershop rubbish, but the path to the door is clear, and the door itself. It's made of a solid block of wood, but it stood there for ages. The hinges are old and coated with a carmine layer of rust. It should be doable. Knock. No one's there. Hollowed out dark echo. What? Oh, I succeeded and it still hurt. You smash into the wood and see a small crack on the door frame. It's going to take one more try to break through to the other side, but you've done it. You're not thinking of trying again, are you? The lieutenant stares at you as you stand there, silent and brooding. Smash into the door again, wordless. Smash into the door and shout, fuck the system. Smash into this door and shout, freeze, dirtbags. Smash, hands up now. Smash, fuck it hurts. Wordless. Excellent.
What is this place?
The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. Looks like a gym to me. Yes, but no one's been here in ages. He draws a stripe on the dusty floor of his foot. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on. Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest. But there's a reason why no one's been here for ages. Let's just keep going. Sure, it's just a regular abandoned house. Yeah, it's because it is closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations when a banal one will do. Now let's move on. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Am I allowed to get rid of this? No. Because I can't look at the thing. Which is really bugging me. These other things almost done yet. Working on it. Working on it. Nope, nope, this button. Items. Tools. Flashlight. Smells like leather and sweat. Shot put ball. Poster says Sidious Fortis, the rest is worn off. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. A barbell lies on the floor. The color is worn off its weight plates. 60 kg. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar? Is it familiar because I'm a weightlifter? No, it's not that. It's the smell of... stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and the whistle, and the feeling's gone. Just a memory. A memory from another life, when you were young. Bit. Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell. You're right, the weights may fall off, better not to touch them. Kind of a bastard would just remove the collars. You felony. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore. Part of me wants to lift it anyway. But I need to go past that endurance check. Yeah. Damn, I'm an idiot. This is gonna hurt. I'll be back. You managed to hoist it off the ground, but it feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Even your body has failed you. It's a miracle you didn't injure yourself. Seems like I'm a little out of shape, or maybe the gloves just suck. Proper weightlifting gloves would definitely afford a better grip. That's fine. I fucked that door up. Okay. Continue exploring there. I'm starting to get antsy about the amount of time we have left. Roundabout north. To Cap Staps Martinez Pier. Broken window, Tibbs has windows. And if you had a bag in your hand, you could grab the bottles. Somebody wants this to buy bottles. I'm just gonna take that. Thanks, buddy. Coin-operated viewer. This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Coin slot full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering a machine permanently inaccessible. Pat it. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. Look inside. Thick layer of graffito covers the lens as you spell out the word "oh." Yeah. Shift your focus to the background. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and grays appears behind the water. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On a church, on stilts, lanky weather-worn panel planks. Wooden planks. An X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the star of Pericarnasus, or the Chi-Rho, the central symbol of the Pericarnassian Church. A star. Great moral weight. A great moral height to be strived toward. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach and a small tent set up on the ice. Vandalism. Probably some kids. A simple but clever solution to ruining a coin-operated viewer. It took ingenuity. Battle. Battle. I don't know why I'm collecting bottles, but I'm sure it will be made obvious later. A lonely corpsman surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. Backyard wall. This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. Why am I looking at this wall? Damn. No idea. So many walls all over Martinez. Had to try. Tycoon OS, are you still a shit?
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep? Pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out?
No, why would you even say that?
Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all.
That one's the problem. Garden hose. Of no use until the snow melts. Chairs and tables eat my rain and rot.
There must be another way into the building.
Jesus Christ, Kim. Orange bum hat. And more nose fit. Just a closed door, but you look at it suspiciously. Locked. Just gonna steal a bunch of bottles. Cape Side Apartments. Rue de Saint-Justine, roundabout north. Inside the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it.
Hey, up here, piggo. The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Start with blood type and go from there.
Go where? Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pig man. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies.
Despite the attitude, she puts the brush aside. You keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at? She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat dock next to the pier. Hatred? Disgust? It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring. She hisses, "That Ozan, or someone's gotta keep an eye on her." Ozan is an archipelago 2 days travel away from Ravishal. Its moneyed residents used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques rarely have reason to visit Martinez. Who is she? Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. He nods in her direction. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Kim. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to be a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet. Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. And pound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Azane. So what are you doing to the wall? Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural. An aero graffito visible from low orbit. Haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. She studies the wall, suddenly pensive. So you don't know what to write. Have you ever tried your hand at graffito? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff like "Pigs Go Home" and "Mona was here." Rarely see pigs around here, though. Just Union Cads. And my name's not Mona, so... He wants it to be something true and total. So why are you so committed to it? This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. Thought I'd mix it up, you know? Summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation. I have an opinion. Wanna hear it? Yeah? Public art's pretty cool, and this place is in disrepair. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval. And you'll hate that. You've lessened her desire to deface the building. Do you know anything about the recent murder? I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. She wrinkles her nose. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts. Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in normal, calm, informative manners. You weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. Catch you later. Once your back undulates, you got eyes on you. Of course. I have new clothes? Oh yeah, the bum hat. Orange beanie with a couple of big ass holes in the side. Looks like it might have been used as a mask during an armed robbery. And shot put ball. We're going here. It seems increasingly like I need to find lockpicks. Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Magnesium. Really, this boat shines like it was recently painted. It is bright. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Justine. Your room in the Worthing wasn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. A striking woman leans against the cabin of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. Shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold. Like steel. There's strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You're on a boat. Why, yes I am. She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Does it, yeah. Sorry, one moment. Summer cold. Woo! Does she have a name? The boat? No, it is called Coeur d'Alene 19, because that's the type of sloop it is. Okay, but what kind of boat is it? It's a pleasure craft. A 19 Pesa. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing, though these days I mainly use it for business. How do you like it? My sloop? I like it a lot. Her lips curl into a wry smile. It's the eel's hips, baby. I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating. I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is he thrown off yet? Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her. You have a license for this boat, madam? Officer, I assure you I am a highly qualified pleasure craft operator. That was not the question. The crowns of her teeth are porcelain. White as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license? Thank you, Half-Light. So, can I see the license? I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one but two Insuldinic regattas, even finished ones. What happened the other time that's good enough for me, or... Where's the license, though? Shut up. What do you mean? The Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license. It's a little-known fact among us law officials. The Wayfarer Act is one of the few pieces of legislation governing human interaction in a Ravenshall zone of control, along with the Emergency Trade and Ailments Act. What? Which one of the fundamental laws here designed to limit the authority of local institutions. Part of it prohibits the RCM from requesting most documents and licenses without permission from a coalition representative. Oh boy. Wait, exactly how little known is this fact? More like the Anarchy Act in my opinion, so we can't pull over random civilians and demand their paperwork. Weak. Makes sense, I guess. I mean, look at me. Okay, forget the stupid Warfare Act. I had another question. How little known is this fact? I was just being polite. Even school children know the Wayfarer Act. Me. Makes sense. I mean, look at me. No need to resort to self-pity, detective. You can still ask for a passport. No need. She nods politely. Of course. Any more questions about the boat, sir? Not a lot of people on them, are there? Of course there are. She looks around. We are on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? We are? What? Look around. Yeah, we are. She raises her brow. We are on the Caillou. Caillou? Thought we were in Ravenshall. Haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kanima motor carriage either. Actually, the lieutenant becomes defensive. That motor carriage has been specifically issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the Greater Ravenshall Industrial Harbor. It's not a toy. Neither is this. The woman pats the cabin hardtop. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Ravenshall, between the city and the islands. I think I have a handle on that. Same rich. Can I have some money? Get to that one. Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do? What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking. Okay, so what do they do? The Pines core competency, yes, is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. She points to the small dots on the horizon. See those airships there? Blinking? Those are the shipping sides of things. And then to the east towards the harbor. That is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil, gas, exploration, offshore platforms. The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Ravenshallian Indo-tribes, companies awarded royal monopolies by the king himself centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain. You're in good company, it seems. Why, thank you. She does not register the real meaning of the remark. So how much does Wild Pines have, money-wise? I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you last year it booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. The money I owe is so much less than that. Yeah, past a certain point numbers begin to seem imaginary. But they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on it for their paychecks. A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it'll die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility. Where does it get these billions? They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Cimmerian and Celindian. I don't like that word. Aesolus. 250 years ago, when Pine's ships explored the South Simonese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the Caesarian. Centuries of care, debilitation, madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. So what does such a huge system want with a place like this? You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? She gives you a little smile. You are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo. 8% of all cargo? That's quite the endeavor indeed. You don't keep it moving, the workers do. The company is nothing without them. That's all I needed to know about something. Let's be a little confrontational. It's the workers doing that. We built this district, she says calmly. All the best parts of it, Rue de Saint Justine with its bastions, the plaza's meteoric mosaic, even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to investment from the WP. She points behind you where the seawall rises. Fort Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbor even before it was part of Ravachol. Long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Ravacholian employees. Company getaway, or a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution, but that's another matter. She takes a sip. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place that they built. With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone. So what can you tell me about this strike? Everything, she smiles, right up to but not including trade secrets. So, what if I want to hear about trade secrets? First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade and Alignments that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus. Wouldn't want to disturb an octopus. I'm glad you see it that way. To repeal the act would mean repealing the coalition government, the one that leases you the right to police West Ravachol. But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strikes. What's your role here? I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines in return of Wild Pines' counteroffer. And how are the talks going? They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's 2.2 racist. There's a 2.2 meter racist behemoth blocking the gate. Tell us more about this behemoth. What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. She pauses. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now. How were the talks going before then, though? Let's just say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for. And when did you first arrive? I arrived 3 weeks ago. In the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I'd prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM. But the strike began in December. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations. This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike. Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time the demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. Oh no, things like a medical plan. Lee. What happened to this gamin? Mr. Clare told him to, how did he put it? She pauses to compose herself. Fuck off, midget. Gamin is short in stature. Not cool. Keep in mind this is a negotiator, Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him in the union. What are their demands? Leaflets everywhere and banners. What'd they say again? Oh yeah. Every worker a member of the board. Overly aggressive commie posturing. Seems like they have no idea about business. Forget it, I wanted to ask something. You don't know what to think about that. I like it. I mean, it's better than these others. And you might also like their other slogan, Demand Democracy. Nah, that's weak. Personally, I agree. It lacks the pizzazzo of every worker member of the board. What exactly do they mean by it, though? What's the demand? It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? Anything, really? It needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, but they're also kings of the 72,000 employees of the Wild Pines Group. Kinda funny, you gotta admit. They're having a blast, but how can they afford it? Before months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. So what are you gonna do? Not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up. Just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now people are getting lynched. Behind the whirling in rags. dangerous situation, if ever there was one. Excuse me, the lieutenant looks up from his notes. From whom did you hear about this lynching? I first heard it from the boy at the gates. A reply comes quick. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was Call Me Manana? This checks out. And Mr. Clare? Everett Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Really. Of course not. Everett is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. Be that bad? He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there's anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, it's his twin brother Edgar. There are two of him. Yeah, he looks exactly like his brother except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everett does, and when one's terms as foreman is up, the other takes over. That's how they circumvent the term limits. With a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' duties. And the union itself, outside of the brothers Clare. The Bardets Union was once a perfectly normal institution 20 years ago. Anyway, it must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say? She hesitates, looking for the right expression. A mob, the lieutenant says succinctly. The Bardets are a crime syndicate, sad as it may be. I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them. Refreshingly honest, officer. She nods. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everett and his brother. She turns to you. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. She explains. Would you say the Bars Union is an effective advocate for the rights of the local workmen? A giant leech sucking the life of the Revachol? Basically a socialist mob. I prefer not to have an opinion. Something with a problem. But it could be better. So we'll call it effective. Because it's the best they have. Why do you think so? Your voice is calm, there's only curiosity. You're Everett, the Human Legion Measurehead, this union sounds like a motley crew. I'm into it. Sounds like they're all Revachol. I'm all Revachol too, the hell with the rest. They're good labor men, can't fault them for a little corruption. It's not great. But it's all I have. She throws her hair back. A real man on the left. What else can I tell you about? Said something happened in the elections. Glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous foreman of the union. She disappeared. Disappeared? Yes, on the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work, ever. End of story. So these will be done whenever I finish talking, I guess. I can't make this go away, which is kind of bugging me. Eerie. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him. Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine. Changing topic. What can you tell me about this lynching? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something. This information I'm to share with you includes the sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers. Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. Lieutenant hands her a piece of blue plastic. Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. He points to you. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice. I'm curious. She returns the lieutenant's badge and turns to you. Why is that, detective? Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events. Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it. See, she looks increasingly worried. So are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Yeah. I can't hear you, darling. Please speak up. You're gonna make me do it specifically. Not gonna talk about the drinking. Could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. Oh dear. She sighs with compassion, sadness even. I'm supposed to explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation. As I said, ma'am, the lieutenant interjects, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM. Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything until I've seen that badge. He's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. I'll find it somehow. Let's talk about something else until I do. Of course. She grabs the mainstay and leans towards you. Before we do, officers, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us. You seem smart. I need someone to give me the lowdown on this reality we're in. It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms. I asked that. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy. Encephalopathy? I don't know. Now that I think about it. She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you. Don't be phased, madam. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality. We may be here then. We may be here a while then. She takes the longest sip of tea. Ouchie. I needed this. This is like 4 hours of just talking. I haven't done this in too long. I used to be somewhat good at it. So these first few episodes are gonna be a little bit ouchy. But that's fine. She takes a long sip of tea. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can. Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begins with the first, okay? Where are we? We're in Martinez, baby. Baby. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's disco holdover, pay it no mind. I seem to be a disco holdover myself. Aren't we all? And what is Martinez? It's a district of Revachol. She looks around, her green raincoat flapping in the wind. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbor. North of the 881st and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the revolution. It has its charms. It's just not this time of year. And more about Martinez? Not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, terminals, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. Further down the coast, the wilder it gets. What sea is this? It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol, and the bay feeds into the ocean. Are we near that? We're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water. The Insulindic. Known to the early Revacholians as les immenses bleus, the blue immensities. Vast, lukewarm, and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight. The name of the island? Caillou, as you already know. She looks into the waters. Imagine a pebble, a smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks of the river Esperance, and we're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch of the Martinez distributary. It's clear this pebble is of enormous value to her. And humanity at large. Okay, there's Martinez and Ravishal. Ravishal is what you call a city. What kind of a city is this? The great kind. As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact. And what makes it great? History detective. I built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. Okay, who built it? Nations of the Occident. Our migrant workers from Simonine and Nimaria, depending on your creed. When was it built? In the Delorian century 380 years ago. And why will it resolve history? They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts, the stuff of men. Why here? We're standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulintic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. She smiles. It's where the money is. So, we're pretty much at the center of the world. Oh, we're quite a way off. About, she points across the water where the skyscrapers rise. A collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows. 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the Bank of the World building. The bottom floors are Intercom, Coalition Government, Insul Indian Mission Control. Look to the sea. Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea, and the cold radiating from it. Where? Say nothing. Observe the large body of water swelling. Cold. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you? Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown. This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask. About even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too. And tomorrow. Isn't that true? Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term. You're right, Lieutenant. I'll continue later. He nods. It's better not to eat all your candy at once. What times are these? What is this acute encephalopathy? It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out. She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective. In case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio. Portfolio? Did I say portfolio? I know you've got a lot riding on me. I won't let you down. It's not just me, Detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we all bet wisely. So what causes this? It's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use. Yeah, it's probably from surgery. It's definitely the drinking. She nods slowly. Esprit de corps legendary check. What is... Think of something close to you. Nope. What are you? What I am? Not is a basic term of reality. Okay, what's this? A bird? She tilts her head. Sphinxly, the flightless bird of polar regions. Keep guessing. Some sort of krill hunter. No, wait. Joyce raises her eyebrows. You're an accident ruin, a symbol of hubris and decay, half submerged in some salty sea. Really? Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. I meant to say, what is this place here? Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Justine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two. A pre-revolutionary tenement. All buildings are called tenements, you see, and new buildings, bâtiments, after La Bâtisse Novale. But 33A and 33B are not Novale, they're old. She looks up at the crumbling facade. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall, a real high-rise by the standards of the last century, built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay. Before the war, we lived in them. Mostly the urban middle class. This was once primo real estate. Before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat, from a dilapidated balcony. Cindy the Skull gives you the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat. You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a sawing motion. Wonderful. What was that? Point to Cindy. The girl in the old lady rags? Yeah. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infrastructure. Infraculture? Yeah, you and I belong to the superculture. We're common, the herd, the music on the radio. Food in the chain restaurants, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It's an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the superculture. I understand everything, make it more complicated. I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. That line felt personal. To her. 3% check. Yeah. Failure. Strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway, sloop slowly. That's all for now. Seem rich. Can I have some money? It's what you want to say, but it isn't that easy. Why not? Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub. What nice fabrics. Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk skirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat. While dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry. Wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible. Yeah, so? Now look at you. You misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes, a sight of booze recedes you, your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too ashamed. I'm not ashamed, but it's this feeling I've never felt it before. The goddamn working man, I'm not ashamed to shake this leech for some dough. As I should be, for even considering it. This is a woman and I'm a man. Yeah, I should make my own goddamn money by now. She has the money. Shamed? Question mark? Yeah. Too ashamed to ask this person for money, too scared to belittle yourself in her eyes. These half-precious stones of Ile-de-Nil. As I was saying, her voice breaks the silence and suddenly you're back again. Nearby a seagull pecks at a piece of garbage. If there's any way I can be of assistance, don't hesitate to ask. Head of billions, please? Money! Voila! Really put your back into it, yell from the top of your lungs. Yeah, you seem rich. Can I have some money? Why, yes, I am rich. How much money do you need? Hopefully not too much. I couldn't bring all of it with me. She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on? Get 100 real. That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large. As he reaches into her raincoat, pulls out a zip bag, and you see paper notes arranged like black gulls. She removes a few notes and hands them to you. Paper is cold and oily. So, she returns the zip bag to her jacket. Hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still. I'm still getting my head around the whole thing. You were just helping out. You're right, ma'am. That donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct. Which she most certainly will do. She bows and raises a single eyebrow in your direction. Now how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries? You will be back later, once I find my badge. But I needed that so I could find my badge. Thank you. That's all for now. Of course, Detective. Take care.
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead, to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then, past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
So it looks like he threw himself way too far into his job. His home life disintegrated. Learning cap for perception raised to 5. Speed gives 1 psi. I can't internalize things until the other ones go away and I can't forget them. Need more skill points I only get from experience. I did, however, probably get enough money to pay for the bill. Okay, the minus goes away though. Alright. Well, since I have the money now, can I interact with this? More battles. Gimme. Let's go ahead, run back to the hotel. I think that there's people in it now, and actually if I want to stop and talk to them. I think I'll try the body first, and then I'll get involved in that. Bottles are freaking everywhere. Kim, move out of the way, please.
Yes?
Doing okay? Oh, I can collect them all the way over here. I have psychic powers. Cool. Coin operator computer has been broken.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
The other one's eating a big sandwich.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never. Ball game. That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about it. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime. Yeah. You're immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work. Electrochemistry. God, this is right. Feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. Time is frozen, taking its surroundings. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball. Feel it. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. There's a pattern on it. Probably sponsored. Yours should only be covered with bumps of learning and scars of victory. Already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrating until you and the ball have merged into a single entity. The man ball is ready. Who am I? An embodiment of pure emotion, fine-tuned locomotor running at maximum efficiency. Behold, the fear and confusion reflecting in the eyes of the two feeble geezers. They're in awe of your superiority. You are a god to them. Some would still say you're a cop, but I guess we're beyond that now. The inertia can be contained no more than a bullet leaving a gun. Let go. Be the bullet. Why'd you do that? Mad. The old soldier yells in outrage. Bordel's mad. The hell is your problem? Not weak triceps, that's for sure. Problem? I don't understand. You vandalized our game, son. He tries to calm himself. We can't play Petanet with 5 bulls. Oh, Petanque? I understand. I thought it was shot put. Damn well, isn't it Petanque? The man snaps, raising his voice again. You ruined the Petanque game. We want our bull back. Take it easy, Renee. The jolly one tries to diffuse the situation. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done. Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. The heel of his cavalry boot slams into the ground. You also goddamn bowl. Don't have a bowl, but will this do? Hold out the shot put ball. Will this? He falls silent and stares at the ball. No, it will not. Thank you, officer. The man shallowly takes the ball and bounces it in his hand. This is really something. Honestly, I think it's better than our old bowl, even. Mon Dieu. He mumbles something, rubbing his temple. Alright, fine. What do you want, officer? France. You know anything about the man hanged in the backyard of the Whirling in Rags? Unfortunately, I don't, he shrugs. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement, but this affair has passed me by completely. Most of the locals? In Martinique, the union is the law, so can you really blame them? But you don't have a problem with cops. Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring forth to our streets. So again, you don't know anything. If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply do not. I am an old man, you're not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me. You seem to be playing in a crater. Yes, the man nods. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. You know what created it? I do, he nods, straightening his back. Fire from heavy artillery. Okay, so it's a crater left by artillery fire, but why? Why what? Why was heavy artillery used? It's the revolution. Because that is what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Wait, who are the communards? Did you use artillery fire against them? Maybe we can do this history lesson later. Was it you who used it? Sadly no, it was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly, too valiantly, so valiantly we got licked, he adds, squeezing a bull in his fist. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women, strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but these suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough. Could have chosen a place away from these people and buildings. I shelled them here in Martinez. Because this place is a damn beachhead, he says, pointing to the bay. Had to soften the commies up first. It's a beachhead? Yes, he nods, inspecting you with some disdain. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Death Blow in 08. See how the two often Celemarian and the Delta. He points to the northeast. Death blow. Sounds grim. Not thoughtfully, and turn to look northeast. Shake your head and look down at the crater. I'll not thoughtfully and look northeast. This here is blood ground. Our coalition boots my first made landfall and cleared those rabid dogs out. Most likely, he says, looking down at the soil, we're playing a petanque on their mangled corpses. Blood ground. The other one shakes his head. He got old Renee going there, like he isn't angry enough already. Is that why everything's so bombed out? Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell upon the city before they stormed it, and it worked, too. There's a strange gleam in his eyes. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they kept as a monument. A dark shadow runs across his face. And now the Union and Socialists are practically running the place. Well, it's your own damn fault, the Jollyman remarks. You, we, the Coalition, Revachol, whatever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course, they still hold influence. We do not even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... He stops mid-sentence and turns to you. What do you think? Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one. That's how it should be. Soft socialists paving the way for the hard-working class to take over. Oi. Foreign powers cleaned up our mess and now they rule us. Shake your head in shame. This coalition seems quite capable, actually. Commies just don't understand how money works. Nothing, I do not think, I simply do. Now it should be soft socialists paving the way for hard-working class to take over. Foreign powers cleaned up our mess and now they rule us. Coalition seems capable. Commies just don't understand how money works. I don't know where the sarcasm is supposed to be. Because this one shakes head in shame. I am sorry it had to be them. He looks down at his boots. After 8 years of fighting these hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains. I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Gulen returned to Revachol, or even if that damn clown Frisil had risen from his grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. This royal failure weighs heavily on him. Instead, all that is just holy and beautiful, and the world was wiped away. And now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the rule of the suzerain with. Who was this Frizzell? You mentioned Guillaume. A true king in both blood and mind. Led Revachol before Frizzell. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him to exile. Who was this Frizzell? Damn Frizzell. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. The old veteran falls silent and massages his chest. He died in the hands of the hoi polloi in a very public execution. He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob. What exactly is the suzerain? The suzerain is the king of... Has everyone forgotten already? He then slowly nods and says to himself they've forgotten already. It is no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire. Nope. All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past in his old uniform. Catches your glance and nods. This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Frizzell the First, Guillaume the Lion, and the valiant King Philippe the Fourth before him. Don't you mean Frizzell the Fun? You do not speak his name, Craven. Although he was a clown. He turns back to you. But he was our clown. Ours is to ridicule and to mourn. There's something you missed. You'll get to it. Don't worry. Thank you for your time.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
You made a good sandwich.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
Honey, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
Tell me, what do you know about the dead guy? Let me think. He looks at the clouds wistfully. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week, but that's all I know, really. Shame. Maybe you can help me with something else then. Unless I heard something. No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist, he adds, smiling apologetically. You're both good guys, I can see that. Then help them, you vimp. Reproach fills his eyes. You rub plenty of shoulders with the golf carrier in the Union. Someone must know something. I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. His cheeks turn red. I always keep my nose clean and I don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that. Respects? The old carabiner can't believe what he's hearing. Sounds a bit like you're holding back. I'm not, he assures you. And not even any. Of course he's holding back. The carabiner crosses his arms. His mouth so full of Union trick he cannot speak properly. Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, Renee? His eyes are furious. I'm not anyone important in the Union, I just know Everett. How do you know Everett? Everyone in Martinez knows the Clares brothers, he says solemnly. I taught those boys human studies and history in the gymnasium. Human studies and history in the gym? What? What do you know about history? The carabiner stops at Gaston. You never witnessed history, only heard about it years later when it had already moved on. You do not know history. The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid, and alone, like a cracking marble statue. Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire. Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. Are you a Union member? Oh, his cheeks turn red again. In many ways, yes. I'm like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Everard, Edgar, and the older debonaires all know me. In many ways? Oh yes, so you're not an actual member. Not in the technical sense. His eyes fix on the bulls in the crater. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Everard keeps me on the payroll just for the little things. Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything, I know that. He frowns. He's a weather vane, turns to where the wind blows, and tries to look important. This is now 4 hours into the same recording session in a very, very text-heavy game. This is the workout I think I might have needed. That said, coughing. I hate this socialist rabble, he continues, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence, never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already. What are the little things you do for Everard? Rad and work mostly, he smiles. Occasionally he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say. What kind of things do you write? Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers about Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Everard and I have these long talks where he tells his little penman exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's all for now. No thank you, he nods. For being consummate professionals, you'll have this case wrapped up in no time. Speaking of being a consummate professional, I'm very hungry, sir. Might I have a bit of sandwich? Sorry, officer, I really don't share food. Nothing personal, just a principle. The only one you'll have. The sandwich looks like a culinary wonder. Well made and abundant in components, the officer sure knew their craft. In addition to the obvious slice of ham, a fat one, you notice a brim of tomato peeking from below. And it's that mayonnaise. Okay, I'm not that hungry anyway. Oh, that's good. Very good. Must have other business then. Gotta try. Sandwich. No! A man so principled about his sandwich calls for a principled reproach. Time to get political. I'm not so sure about this. Too late, Daddy's already fighting the bad fight. Make it stick. Damn it. These options seem awfully fascist or communist. What if I don't want to say them? The city's going to shit. Sooner or later, some foreign anarchist is gonna steal your sandwich. That's a fact. Your blood sandwich is a tool of the oppressors designed to keep the proletariat docile. What? The lieutenant gives you a sharp glance. What oppressors? I don't know, man. I failed my check. I'm in it now. I'm not going to listen to this comic gunnery, he mutters through clenched teeth and turns his back to you. Huh? The jolly man is scratching his head in bewilderment. He doesn't understand the situation. Look, comrade. The overabundance in this sandwich embodies is inherently evil. I really don't understand how my sandwich could... He starts but falls silence. Wouldn't you rather have a sandwich? Proper sandwich? One with soul? I don't either, but wouldn't you rather eat a sandwich free of the bourgeoisie get baggage? I'd rather just have this one, officer. It's really good. Tell his comrade what the people's sandwich would be like. Distill the essence of the working man in a sandwich. Let's imagine a sandwich covered entirely in fine metal dust from an industrial plant. Imagine a sandwich. Minimal in design, sleek, efficient, simple. It's a working man sandwich filled with grit. That sounds horrible. A grimace of disgust runs over his jolly face. You don't know why you're way around the kitchen. I will return for your sandwich. Hey, face, look around. What's up? Yes, you. Right on the street is you ready to start building communism again? Again? Yeah, you ready to start it again? You built it before. They have before. Hasn't really worked out yet, but neither has love. Should we just start building love too? Can't argue with that. So what about all that communism you promised to build? Word on the street as if you've woken up for 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect the version of communism. Yeah, what's up with the street, though? Keep saying things like down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket. Literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs, that kind of stuff. Yeah, some, but none of those. Yeah, the mask of ambivalence. Do not deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate mankind. It's a lot of reading for a case of the giggles. Everyone can see that, so tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big builder, or do we get right down to it? Roll up your sleeves and start building it. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. Let's do this. This one has no narrator. And the little guy gets smaller and smaller as you rise above the dollhouse world. You see him out in the snow, on the streets, in the shop on the corner, and finally in a matchbox house, sitting by the window. White flowers on the windowsill. You can smell them up here. It's awful. A white morning. A modern death, divorce, or something similar. All you can do is put more distance between you and him. Make him smaller. Make him less you. While Mutterik's caps increase by 1, and I can zoom out a little bit further. Ugh. How the fuck did this? Why does this require things to forget? I want to learn all the things. It's cool shit. Bugs me. An ancient fountain. Some great tectonic forces crack the pavement like an eggshell. Behold the power of white morning. We can make him smaller. Get weird things like that happen. Enormous bulls, wherever you have a real man. This post-La Ventière mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. Closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front. Faint sticker on the side reads RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102 with a slogan, "Mankind be vigilant." Good mailbox. The box seems happy. Yeah. I feel you, mailbox. The mailbox seems cathartic, thankful. Even so do you. You shudder and you swallow. What's new? Nothing. Wouldn't happen to have another one, would you?
Hello again, officer.
Nope. Closed for winter, please use main entry. Goods from the lorry haphazardly litter the surroundings. Fratique. Yellow roses. Tare machine. Tare machine stands in the corner. 1 bottle, 10 cents. Insert bottles. Bottles clunk into the machine and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You know what you should do with that money? Buy some alcohol. No. A melancholy pop song plays on the radio. There's an hour and a half, I'm sorry. I need to pay more attention. I'm engrossed in the story, I'm sorry. Fuck it, I got another hour in me. Let's make a cut here and continue a bit more.